Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, and I wanted to go over um, the way I fill out and then color code my score sheets after a game. Now, this is a 1984 game I played using Replay Baseball. The Mets win the game by a score of 4-2. The Reds had 2 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. Mets had 4 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. I want to show you my approach to scoring this and why I do this. First of all, it's kind of serves to help you meditate, to reflect on the game, and it's a way of minimizing just general stress. And so one of the techniques I use first is, of course, drawing out or coloring in the strikeouts in red. And then I started to kind of do a box around it just to make it stand out a little bit more. And it gives you an idea of how well the pitcher did and how strong his performance was. For example, in the fourth inning on top here, it was Ron Darling strikes out has a 1-2-3 inning, and he strikes out a couple of the Reds batters. But down here in the bottom of the third, Jeff Russell strikes out the side, so that's pretty impressive. Other than that, there's a section here where he struggles in the fourth inning and in the fifth inning, where he gives up most of his runs, and you can see that by the long inning and also by the green, because the green denotes base hits, yellow denotes walks, and you can see all that down here. I kind of pointed that out for you. On the top, really there's only one major rough patch. There's actually 2 major rough patches. The one in the second inning, you can see it's a long inning, a lot of colors. And then there's another one in the third, but then Darling settles down, gives up a home run here in the top of the fifth, and then followed by an error by the shortstop Gardner, and then but then he gets Parker and Concepcion to fly out, and the flyouts are denoted in light blue. The ground balls, so you can see where the ground balls occur, they're in light brown. So those are pretty much the 5 colors: the red for the strikeout, the green for the hits, the brown for the groundouts. You have the light blue for the flyouts, and then the yellow for the walks. And as you can see, Darling, who wasn't known for having great control, walked 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and then that was it. So he didn't do too poorly in terms of his control in this game. Now, I do fill out some information. As you can see, I have Darling went 6 innings, gave up 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Then I brought in Sisk. And I just acted on intuition here. It was the top of the 7th. And Darling was still on his A card. They have A card and a B card for endurance in Replay Classic, and also in, I believe, Modern Replay as well. And I just had a sense when he gave up it was a single, and then it was a bunt single to Walker, who was trying to move the runner over by sacrificing, got a single out of it. I just had a feeling that it was time to pull Darling, and I did that, and I brought in Sisk, and Sisk went on to basically get a fly out. He walked Parker, but then he struck out Concepcion and got Krenchicki to fly out to get out of that inning. So that was huge for Sisk. And then in the top of the 8th, Sisk had a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of ground outs and a pop-up. Anything in the air is going to get that light blue, by the way, whether it's be a foul out or a pop-up or a line drive or a fly ball, anything like that. And then we had a pinch hitter come in. Actually, I believe it was a double. No, it was a pinch hitter. It was Martin who pinch hit in the bottom of the 8th inning and struck out with runners on first and third. So of course, we were planning on replacing Sisk anyway because he had gone his limit. You know what? He still had a couple of. Let me see. He used this inning because of the raise 7. The raise 7 says that he gets an extra inning that you can use it. So I used his inning of pitching here, and then he had 6 batters he could face, or 5, and he faced only 3. So he could have stayed in and gone to 9. But I wanted to bring in Orozco, who was really our closer. And Orozco came in and had a great inning. And you can see I circled his 2 strikeouts just to kind of make that stand out a little bit in that 9th inning. In the bottom of the 8th, it was John Franco pitching for the Reds, and he did pretty well. Except he got stuck a little bit. He was up against the ropes with first and third and only 1 out. But then he was able to get out of the inning with a strikeout and a ground out. And that's about it. So I want to go over my system for kind of coloring the score sheet. Not many people do this. So, and here you can see I make kind of notes for myself. The record of the team. I write in, the pitchers. Darling started the game 5-5 with a 3.73 ERA, so he lowered that a little bit and he improved to 6-5. Then when I did my double switches, I wrote them in here just in case I look at this, because I use the scorecard and then I input it into a PC-based stat engine, PC replay, and that keeps all my stats for me. So I have league stats, I have standings, I have rosters, I have schedules, all that. So I don't have to do all that, and I can just enjoy playing the game because that's really what I enjoy more than anything. What else? I have the date here on top. It tells you what date. It tells me the score, so I kind of remember what the score is and that the final score was 4-2, and it was 4-2 here when the Mets in the bottom of the 7th scored that 4th run. So that helps me kind of keep my managerial strategies mentally in place when I know what the score is. Have to track certain things that if it's a blowout, you track certain things, or you don't track certain things, and if it's a close game, you track certain things. So the Mets used 3 pitchers, the Reds only 2 pitchers. What else can I tell you? Kendo came into pinch run and scored a run. Came into pinch run for the catcher Fitzgerald, and then I replaced the catcher with Hodges. Also, it was a big pinch hit by Kelvin Chapman, the third baseman. He came in on a double switch when I brought in Sisk in that top of the 7th inning. So I pulled a double switch because it was the pitcher who was due up in the following inning. So rather than, losing my pitcher, I just created a double switch and popped the pitcher into the third baseman Brooks spot and replaced Brooks with Chapman. It paid off because Chapman came in his 1 at bat for the day. He doubled and picked up an RBI. So that was huge for the Mets. Gave him that insurance run. Made it 4-2 rather than 3-2. And that, of course, changed some of the strategies up here. I would no longer be playing for one run. I would have to be playing for 2 runs. So that's about it. This scorecard I use is I print this out right from PC Baseball. It comes in pre-filled for me. Replay PC Baseball comes out pre-filled. So I like that. It saves me time and energy. And that's about it. So I just want to go over kind of my color coding system and why I do that. And that's it. This is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. And tune in, subscribe, and like. And I'll see you soon.